Hey, what's happening, gamers? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to Batman Arkham Origin, as we're gearing up to kind of end the series soon. So, tomorrow starts the Jedi Power Battles thing, and the finale of Donkey Kong Country 2. And then we'll have to figure out another series to work on at the beginning of February. Until both Yakuza Like a Dragon Pirate comes out, and of course Monster Hunter. So we'll have to, you know, see what's going on. Who knows, maybe we'll end up doing another game that's celebrating 30 years, I don't know. We have a lot to choose from. I'd like to see if I could do Warcraft, but I don't know if anybody would watch the old Warcraft 2 game. It's a great game. Hi people, how's it going? I had to set up the ultimate stream that happens at like early in the morning, as well as I was working on some other stuff. Oh, there's just not enough time in the day, guys and gals. Linky's all vegged out over here. My cell phone's battery died when I was filming the short, so I don't see how I can. I can't really take any more time to do stuff at the moment. If I have to, we'll take a break during the stream, and we'll film an emergency short. My phone is charging right now, but I don't really have anything at the moment. Okay, so why don't we 92 out of 99? That's not bad. 80 out of 99. Yeah, we've been killing it. Look at that. We've been killing it. Doing good. Mostly good. And then I have to remind me to clean the rice cooker tonight. I need to clean my rice cooker so that we can have pork fried rice tomorrow. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Look at this. Look at this. We're just owning it, man. Let's start with some combat today. How do you spell that? Ah, you caught the Mr. Freeze animated series quote? Good. That was intentional, yeah. Well, the reason why I was doing... it was really early in the morning when I recorded that. It was like 5 in the morning. And Link was actually being very vocal before, so I decided, okay, I'm gonna record the short because the cats are actually communicating. Both Link and Zelda were talking. Well, I mean, they weren't talking, but they were meowing. And then when I decided to put the camera on, Link went up to his bed and he lied down. I was like, okay, that's not going to work. So I pestered him a little bit, and I was hoping that sometimes when you are talking, the cats will, you know, meow along or whatever, or try to communicate with you. So I was hoping I would be able to catch that on camera, but it didn't work out that way. And then when I tried to film something else, they were in the middle of a fight, so it's like, eh, I guess that'll just work. I mean, it's a stupid YouTube short. It doesn't mean anything. We only do YouTube shorts to basically band-aid the channel, so it's not like it has any value. Sometimes I get a really good creative idea, and then it doesn't get watched, so it's just kind of like, well, that was a waste. That was a waste. Oh, man. Time to do some kung fu fighting. Those ninjas fast as lightning. Da 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 da. Let's time it. Why not? Who cares? Sure. No, I don't like the... I don't like this thing. This thing bothers me.
This won't take long.
Bruce Wayne with his weird suspenders thingy. Ugh. Geriatric Batman. Oh crap, already with the nonsense. Alright, well, let's go. Whoa! Oops. Just maybe it's the color off today. Feels like the color is... Ouch. I mean, I have been playing really dark games, so maybe that's why. But the color just feels really off. I don't know what it is. Disappear and reappear.
He thinks he's one of us.
Thinks he's one of us? Do I look like one of you? I mean, I am wearing all black, but besides that... Break that. Goodbye. Oh, he threw a pot at me. Who throws a pot at somebody like that? Come on. That's just rude. Boo. Poor guy. Boo! That did not work. That was the opposite of work. That was fail. Where did the ninjas keep coming from? Somebody is asking, where's Amber? Amber's resting because Amber will be up to do the Ultimate Selects tonight. Remember, you guys have till midnight tonight to get 1,000 views on the Dynasty Warriors thing. You're close. You're at 980. So if Mage Wolf or John or anybody who's in the chat would like to put the link to Dynasty Warriors Episode 7, that would be fantastic. Because it's so close to crossing over to 1,000 views. We didn't get any Super Chats or members on that stream, so we gotta hit 1,000 views before midnight. So that Amber and I get paid. Otherwise, that stream would be for naught. Which would suck, but... not like YouTube's new algorithm. I think, and I can't confirm this yet, but I think that YouTube Shorts now count as YouTube uploads. Which might account for, like, our really low views on YouTube Shorts now. Oh no, how am I ever gonna get the points necessary to win? Was there just one round or 2 rounds? Oh my gosh, there's 2 rounds? Wow. Nope. Stay down, Pajama Man. Yo! Attack! Well, that was a cheap shot. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm wicked annoyed from this morning. I worked really hard on that thing, and I did what YouTube suggested. They have, like I told you guys before, we read about the AI thing. I was like, alright, let's try to implement that AI thing, because we really need to... We're not doing well this month. We really need to make up stuff, and apparently if you do that kind of stuff, the algorithm is like, oh yeah, we're gonna help boost your video because you're using stuff from YouTube's new, like, AI system or whatever. So it's like I went and I literally used the title that they came up with. I wrote the description from what they came up with. I'd already made the video, and I already made the thumbnail prior to that, so I didn't need them to do weird AI or anything. And I was just like, okay, so I went to sleep thinking, you know what, I got a good feeling about this. It's a good video. I didn't mention any DEI stuff. I didn't talk about gloom and doom of the industry. I just kept it like basic game news. That was it. That was it, right? I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. I'm gonna get rewarded for doing good. It's like, nope, I got crap views. And I was like, you know, those grifters, they make bank. When you do honest work, you don't get anything. But it's like I still, with things going the way it is and those people on the way out, it's like I don't really see a reason to talk about them. So it's like I just want to go back to regular, you know, brass tacks, so to speak. But the video failed. And it's just like, man. It's like, I don't want us to go back in time to when you need to do sensationalist stuff in order to get any type of acknowledgement.
You should have stayed at home with your baseball and hot dogs. Foreigner.
But I really liked the video. I think that I did a good job with the video. It reminded me of how I covered news videos in the past. You know, just keep it pretty simple, explain what it is, keep it very, like, loose on the commentary, explain, you know, what the rumor is about this game, or this game is coming out, or, you know, I think they could go this direction. I just kept it very, you know, simple. But it took, I think it took like 12 or 13 hours to barely cross into 1,000 views, and it's like, well, that was an utter failure. And it's like, then I look to see, it's like, well, is that video going to continue to gain momentum? And it's like, no, it's DOA. I looked at it, I looked at the data, and it's got like 0 people watching it. It's got 0 activity in the search engine. It's over. But I mean, it did hit 1,000, so, you know. Did somebody give a super chat? Thank you very much. American Tiger. Thank you, American Tiger. Appreciate that. Yeah, it does help. So, I mean, that's why I was bummed, though, today. The Dynasty Warriors stream was really interesting today. The stories got me hooked. Like, I really like the story a lot. Where's episode 7? Okay, so episode 7 has been sitting at, like, 990 views since I started the stream. It's just, like, sitting there. It's like, it might happen. It might cross over. YouTube's like, maybe. I mean, Arkham Origins story wouldn't discuss how Penguin and Joker became rivals. That was later in Batman's career. You mean you want to see a game that focuses on that? I do too. Like, I think that there's a lot of stuff that they can implement still from the Batman Arkham stuff. You just have to get a talented developer to be able to do that. But with our country going back to the merit system, that means a lot of private companies and things like that will follow suit. So, I mean, this could be a very creative time. I think, like, I don't know, because the YouTube thing, I can't do it forever. Maybe I should throw my hat in the ring and, you know, start talking to some old friends and see if I could get a job, like, writing a Batman game or something. I don't know. I'm getting old, so I need to do something. And I've got old I've got, like, scripts and things, like, lying around and outlines that I wrote years ago. Maybe I could submit that and get, like, some type of credit for something. I don't know. I mean, YouTube just gets worse every year. It really does. Ow. And I've always had war and beef with YouTube, but I mean, it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. That's what it's like to live as a Shadowban channel. Like, Amber went to bed in tears tonight because she was like, she found a channel, bunch of nobodies, right? No offense to them. They've got like 8,000 subscribers. They're doing the same amount of Dynasty Warriors content as we are. According to the program that we have, because we can see other YouTubers' stuff. No tags, no hashtags, no description, crappy thumbnail, and the dude is dwarfing us in views for Dynasty Warriors. There's hardly any subscribers. And Amber saw that, and she's like, we have to contact somebody about shadow banning. And it's like, honey, there's nothing they can do. And I said, I agree this totally does suck, but, I mean, what do you want me to do? I'm already killing myself as is. You know, I'm not getting sleep. I'm getting more and more agitated, grumpy. It's like, there's nothing I can do. I feel terrible, because she's really starting to realize what our predicament is. It's like, yeah, it's really dire. But what do you want me to do about it? I got nothing. But totes the system's broken, 100%, yeah. Oh, you shrew. Call the ninja a shrew. Ha! Oh, that's funny. Bad ninja lady. Don't do that. Yoink. Tell you what, I'm about to open some champagne though, because all those consultant agencies are about to go bye-bye. Especially when I discovered, what was it, like a year or so ago? Because I was like, how in the world can these idiots continue to be in the game industry when most of the projects they work on commercial failure? Like, where are they getting the money? Like, where's the funding coming from? Did they discover a magic, like, question mark block that they keep, like, pounding it over and over again to get coins? And then it's like, lo and behold, you find out that, like, 7 of these organizations that have been, like, a thorn in our side for, like, 4 years are all getting government grants and funding, you know, for their DEI initiatives. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's why the money never ran out. That's why they never disappeared, is because those fools were actually getting bailouts from the government. And now that the government has turned off their revenue sources, like in less than 6 months, Sweet Baby Incorporated, Black Girl Gamer, all those people are going to go bye-bye because they're not going to be able to sustain themselves. And it turns out there's actually some game studios that made some pretty terrible games, you know, for that category that were also sponsored by the government. They too are losing their funding. So it's like, this is all really great stuff. But it's just, at the same point, it's like, how in the world did a video game studio or a consultant agency even get these grants? You know, it's like, how did they take advantage of these programs? That's like, I don't know, really bizarre. And it probably explains, did you guys know that over the past 4 years that your taxes increased? You're only supposed to be paying about 10 to 15% of your income towards taxes. Most of us were paying about 23 to 24%. I think a lot of that has to do with all these weird government programs that no one knew about. We're bleeding money somewhere else, so the government had to take more money from us, the citizens. Because I found out from my tax representative, we were paying about 24 to 23% on our taxes. That's insanely high. Which explains why we were struggling as much as we were the past couple years. Because it's like, that doesn't make any sense. And I can fairly afford our tax person as it is. Like I might have to learn how to do my own taxes, but it's very complex. Because, you know, if you do your own taxes, you literally have to keep every receipt and all that other stuff. Because you don't want the government to audit you. I don't want to be in the same boat as the completionist. Except, you know, I've never done fraud, but you know what I mean. I tried to check up on him a while ago. I called him. The phone never, like, got answered. It was a while ago when I found out his wife left him or something like that. I was trying to check up on him. Because I know he doesn't, you know, really care about me or anything, but it's like, I remember when he was a kid, and he was just starting out, and he was like, oh, wow, you know, I watched you growing up and stuff. I heard that so much. Like, if I had a quarter for every time I heard that, or a nickel or something like that, I'd have a lot of nickels. But it was sad to see, you know, what happened, because he and I were in the same situation for the longest time with Maker Studios. As Maker Studios was basically abusing and siphoning the income of so many of their smaller content creators to give to their bigger guys as incentives and bonuses to bring in bigger content creators and stuff like that. And somehow he found a way of being successful, and then, you know, we find out that his way of being successful was creating a fake charity and using that fake charity to grow his channel, and it's just like, man, that's so depressing, you know? Because, like, I really found... I thought that when he went to college or when he did all this other stuff he said he was going to do, that's how he was... You know, he found his own way to be successful, and then lo and behold, you find out, no, it's because he created a fake charity and used that to grow his channel. It's just like, you know... And I know, you know, karma happens to people in the end, but it's kind of depressing. So anyway, long story short, I tried to call him because I still had his phone number, and I was trying to find out what's going on with him. You know, tell him, just be like, hey, you know, I know things are bad or whatever. But, yeah, I couldn't even leave a message because it said this person's no longer able to receive messages and stuff like that. And it's just kind of like, he disappeared off the internet, so I'm kind of worried about him. It feels like kind of similar to, like, do you guys remember Cobra Manny a little bit? Like, to me, I have that, like, weird feeling in the pit of my stomach, like when Kobe disappeared, you know? Because I knew these people. I knew them very well for many, many years. It's just, it's sad, you know? Thank you very much, Keith. I appreciate that. The thing is, I told you guys, I can't leave YouTube for a while. It's not... When you're in debt, you have to do whatever you can to get out of debt. Like, no one is going to help you, right? If I'm being completely honest, based on all the stress that I've had, because I've been on YouTube almost 20 years. If I wasn't in debt to the U.S. government and them taking money from my check every month, like siphoning my income or whatever they call it, I wouldn't work on YouTube anymore. The only reason I'm here is because of them. I have to hit a certain threshold or I'm going to go to prison, basically. Because there's nothing you can do to work with the IRS to lower your back taxes or whatever it is. It doesn't exist. It'd be great if there would actually be government programs, but they don't exist. And those companies that... This is the sad thing, okay? I can teach you something so this doesn't happen to you ever. You'll see commercials where they say, hey, we can help you get out of your debt to the IRS. And the thing is, there's actually forms that you can go to the IRS in real life, and you can do what's known as an offer and compromise, or you can try to forgive your debt if it's under a certain amount. The problem is, ours is above the certain amount, so there's no government program that can help us. So that thing that happened to us in 2015 has been haunting me all these years. And that was because that person stole 50 grand from us. So, that YouTube network or whatever it was. So we've been, you know, fighting the government since 2015. I've probably paid them $55,000 in the past, since 2015. Like, you know. And that's not just in back taxes either. I can't even tell you how much of back taxes I paid these crooks. But to the point where I barely any money in my account after I pay my rent and our bills. Like, we have like a few $100s to survive the month, every month. That's what it's been like for years. And there's no end in sight, you know. There's nothing I can do. So if I didn't have to worry about that, which, I mean, the stress is killing me. I'm amazed I still have my hair. And not only do I have my hair, but I was able to grow it wicked long. And I'm growing it long so that I can cut it off. Not all my hair, but cut off the long hair and donate it as a cancer wig. Because I've always wanted to be able to do that, but I've never had the hair long enough to do it. So now, if I went to a website, they said if I grow my hair like another 4 or 5 inches, then I can do it. That way some kid or whatever will be able to have a full head of hair or whatever, you know, when they're going through treatments and stuff. That'll make me feel pretty good. Because it's like, you know, I grew this hair really long to try to do something. But that's besides the point. Yeah, I would be gone off YouTube if I could, but I don't have a choice. So it would be great. This is why I call all politicians crooks, but it would be wonderful if someone would actually make the ability to sue the IRS. If an actual citizen of the United States could sue the IRS or the U.S. Treasury, that would be amazing. And 2, if there was actually a program that could help forgive debt that wasn't your fault. None of that stuff exists. Any mistake that the government makes, you as a citizen pays for. Probably for your entire life. So, like I said, I've already done the offer and compromise. There's nothing I can do. And the offer and compromise was done when we had a very big income. We don't have a big income anymore. So you cannot go and get another offer and compromise. You can try to hold out for the statute of limitations to end. It's like 10 years. But in that time frame, they can throw you in jail. So, like, it's basically like Amber and I are on a rat wheel inside of a hamster cage, just running around and round and round and round and round and round. So we're getting crazier and crazier. And there's no hope, basically. And, you know, eventually, the way that YouTube's been going the past 6 months, I'm literally watching YouTube, like, not die, but basically like a line that goes down. And that does make me very depressed and angry, because it's like, I figured everything out, and I can't do anything. So it sucks. I have no idea how to spell that. Boryaku. If the scam hadn't happened to me, if the YouTube network didn't steal that 50 grand from us, and like our tax accountant didn't like claim that as assets that we didn't have, would we still be doing YouTube? Heck yeah. We just wouldn't be streaming all the time, because we would see it as, you know, we'd be thankful for whatever we earned. But like I said, I have to, in terms of my household, I have to earn a certain amount to be able to pay them not just the back taxes, but the current taxes. And they're taking about 23% of my income. Plus they're taking $690 off my check for what they call back taxes. Except I'm not supposed to be paying back taxes after 2022. But somehow the U.S. Treasury is still deducting money from my account. And whenever I try to talk to them about it, they hang up on me. And there's nothing I can do. So, you know, I've gone to several lawyers in New York City, Philadelphia, and Maryland. And they all tell me there's nothing you can do against the IRS. Nothing exists. There's no programs. What I was trying to tell people before, they're scams. There are people that will call you and say they can help you with your debt. But what they do is they take money from you, and they're using programs that the government already has that you as a citizen can go do yourself, like file paperwork. They'll file the paperwork for you, and you'll end up paying this agency over the course of 10 years about 40 grand. So it's not worth it. And they don't do anything to arbiter for you either. So, like, at any time you're paying this additional company, and you're paying the IRS your back taxes or whatever they're, you know, subtracting from your income, you're having a whole nother company that comes in and represents you, but it doesn't really help you at all. So since the pandemic, there's been several agencies that have been created that are scams for people that are being afflicted by the IRS, and these people are making money, but they don't really do anything on your behalf. They're just like doing a couple forms that you can actually go to the, what do you call it? You can go to the district attorney. You can go to the local, like, you know, IRS offices and fill this paperwork out yourself. Paperwork is super confusing, but you can fill it out yourself and save money. But, you know, I just don't like how there are these scam agencies that take advantage of people who are, you know, basically down in the dirt. It sucks. So that's what I would like to see. Instead of all this, like, DEE nonsense, DEI, whatever, and, you know, all this government money going to places that don't really need to exist. You don't need a consultant agency for gaming. You don't need half of the stuff that's been going on the past 10 years. What you need is there are literally millions of Americans that are being afflicted by the IRS for mistakes and other problems that they'll be paying for their entire life, and they have no help. So it'd be great if there would actually be a government agency or some type of company that would go up and fight the IRS to literally help all these people. And most of these companies that exist, they're all scams. They make lots of money. They don't even have, like, any type of lawyer degree. And you're still, like, you're on your own. So I hate that helpless feeling, because it's driving me crazy. And like I said, I've researched everything that you possibly can without getting a law degree yourself. Like, I feel like I've learned so much I could be Harvey Dent myself. But there's still nothing I could do. It's crazy. It's you know, I'm surprised I haven't turned into the Joker yet. I really, you know. Because it's just like this hopelessness. You know? Take down an enemy from a tightrope. We've done that. What goes up? Enemy climbs to the top of a ladder. Boo. So you have to blow up somebody who is not armored. Perform a takedown through a vent cover. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. If I didn't do YouTube and we were financially fine, what would I probably do? Probably get into voice actor and I'd go back into radio. I really enjoyed radio. Because what's great about radio is it's kind of like how I do YouTube. It's just my voice. Like, I've never really been cool with the idea of, like, face cam and stuff like that. I just don't like that. Plus, you know, having a face for radio makes it easier to feel comfortable on the radio. It always does. It amazes me that radio is still around, though. That's the most amazing thing, because, you know, there's so many types of technology these days. And the fact that radio is still around. When you have to remember, radio started in, like, the late 30s. Kind of like that. I believe it was late 30s. Either early 30s or late 30s. And radio had its peak during, like, World War II, and then it kind of came back in the late 70s and early 80s, and it gave birth to MTV. Like, radio gave birth to the music television stuff. And then what's really funny is, if you think about it, radio survived the MTV generation. Because the MTV generation was only really around showing music videos for less than 20 years. Not even. I think it was like after 10 years, they basically stopped doing music videos altogether, and just, there's like a block of music videos, where before, if you ever watched the original MTV, I don't know if you can, but it was all music videos all the time. Like 24 hours music videos from like artists from all over the world. And it was like that for almost 10 years. And then they started doing like, what do they call those? The live action drama shows. I forget the name. Like, not Big Brother, but The House or whatever it's called. I don't know. And then I guess they just kind of like were like, hey, these reality shows, we make more money, so we may as well not do music videos as much anymore. And what's funny is how this relates to my life is one of my bosses in the game industry, like one of the people who hired me to be a reporter, was actually a former MTV VJ. So I got to learn all about MTV randomly whenever the guy had some free time. He'd be like, hey Luke, did I ever tell you the story about when I did this and I was in Cancun working with MTV? And it's like, no, I don't believe so, Steve. So I'd learn about stuff that I didn't even want to know. And you know, it was very fascinating to learn about like what MTV was like at one point and stuff like that. It was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And you know how a lot of these guys have so many regrets that their company segued out of doing actually music television and became just like any other cable company, but really was like the force for reality television. If any of you ever, you know, watched that stuff, that it kind of got its birth on MTV a little bit. But then, you know, that's the day the music basically died, is when they saw the ratings. Like, whoa, why do we need to, you know, pay all these millions of dollars to make these music videos when we can just like hire a bunch of nobodies, throw them in a house together, and film them? That's basically what it was. Enemy climbs up to the top, venting anger. That's gonna be tough. Is this a normal dude? Are you a normal dude? Or are you just an average man? Just a normal average man. Okay, so we're gonna try to get rid of you. Yeet. See if this works.
If he survives, you will
Is he KO'd or is he gone or what? Did you try to shoot me? Did you just try to shoot me, pal?
another
You tried to shoot me.
hard to believe.
Oh man, they're all here. Gang's all here. Okay. Armor guy we have to save for labor. You cannot blow up an armored guy, though. Armored guys cannot be blown up. The only way you can blow them up is if they're dumb enough to step on one of these. The amount of takedowns for armored guys is so limited. It's so incredibly limited. No, but yeah, if I had my life the way I want, because I feel like I'm indebted to the government and I can't do anything about it, so it's maddening. But I would do so many things. I would invest, like my friend Abdallah, who has like stock in lots of companies, which he talks about every once in a while. I don't know how to do stocks, but I can't really be loose with my money anyway. I can't risk investments. I can't do anything because I have to make sure that a certain amount goes, you know, every month. And we're talking a lot. And eventually, if my projections are correct, by 2026, YouTube will not be sustainable for most content creators. Because the ad revenue continues to plummet. They continue to redo how viewership is done and how their CPM is counted. Based on all the data that I've had, because I've had to submit it to my lawyer for like seeing if we could do another offer in compromise, YouTube has not gone up in revenue. They've gone steadily down. And the rate that they're going, like, we'd be done by 2026. Like, our company will implode if it keeps going that way. If we don't get the members, if we don't get what we need. And like I said, we need about 400 to 500 members a month. And we're always, like, around 293, 340. Which is just barely surviving, but, you know, still around. The company in general is just, like, doing terrible. And a lot of the mistakes that they've done, they continue to do over and over again. You know how, like, when Amber plays games and she, like, continues to make the same mistakes over and over again and she doesn't learn from them? YouTube is kind of like that, too. YouTube thinks that they can do the same stuff over and over again. And, like, the same mistakes that they've made, the judgment and error with, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Ad sales and things like that. They can just ignore that stuff and YouTube will continue to earn profits for them. But it doesn't work that way. And it's really maddening to see them making the same mistakes over and over again with no improvement whatsoever. It's like you have like this thing of helplessness just watching everything slowly decline. It's not declining like in a rapid thing like where everybody's panicking, but everyone can see, every content creator can see it like just slowly going down. Ever since, I think the decline started in 2019, right around the Kappa era, when Kappa hit. And at everybody's channel, if you go to, like, not LinkedIn, if you go to Social Blade, you'll notice that every single content creator, even the big ones, everybody's dropping in viewership by, like, tens or hundreds of thousands every year. Every year. And their income is steadily going down. The difference is they just don't talk about it. Like, I'm the kind of guy that, like, when I see something, it's like I talk about it. Because I think that's how I stay sane. Because it's like, I'm aware this is happening, and if I just ignore it, it doesn't make the problem go away. Sometimes talking about it makes me come up with a solution. Although, I've raked my brain over this, like, countless times. I don't see how. The only way I know forward is memberships, and even then, memberships is basically kind of like a PBS situation. Like, you become like a public broadcasting type thing, where, like, instead of being worried about, like, where ad revenue is going and not going, instead you have to be concerned about, okay, so how many of these hundreds of people are going to bail me out a month. It's basically like being on a government grant or something like that, or having like your own mini Bruce Wayne, you know, writing you a grant every year or something like that. Or like if you work for an opera company, or if you work for like an orchestra, those places are paid not necessarily by the opera house, they're paid by the people who support them, which most musicians have always been like that. So it's kind of funny when people are like, oh yeah, you know, if you're a musician, you'll have it made if you work for like an orchestra or something. It's like, well, orchestras in those places only get paid based on how many you know, top donators and people they have that are investing. Have you ever seen those PBS commercials where you have like this big like Philharmonic orchestra or whatever orchestra, and then they say like, hey, if you do this proceed or whatever, you can help this orchestra stay in business and stuff. They do it all the time. And you're like, wait a second, I thought, like, you know, these guys are actually getting, like, paid like a regular job. It's like, no, they have big corporate sponsorship people. And that's how most artists have always been. People just don't realize it. It is a real job, but it's a job that requires the aid of, you know, someone who has deep pockets. It's a very prestigious job, if you're in an orchestra and stuff like that, but it's the arts is the arts for a reason. Is entertainment usually has like suppliers of stuff. It's almost like, think of it like fancy Patreon type stuff, basically. But it's always been like that. It amazes me that a lot of people didn't know this. Even artists, the people who paint pictures and stuff like that, they have like big supporters that give them money because they can't survive on their own. They have to go and shop around their art so that somebody buys it, as well as, you know, to pique the interest of a sponsor or an investor. And if they don't have that, then they starve to death. It's true. It's kind of dark, but it's true. That's just how the world works. My hope was that YouTube and some of these other places would have figured out how to keep their thing going, because when they started, there was actually really smart people who made YouTube. And then, you want to know what happened to those smart people? They got out. That's why they were smart. They were like, sell while it's, you know, while you can. Let's get out of this. They made the platform, and then they said, yeet. And that was it. And they just left, and they're, who knows where, nobody knows where they are anymore. They're gone. They're in some probably foreign country, or maybe they bought their own island. Nobody knows what happened to them. You can't find them anymore. Some people said that they've made for fun. Like, people are like, the engine over on Kick and Rumble and some of these other places are very similar to, like, how YouTube's, like, OS runs. So, there's been rumors going around for years that the people who actually made YouTube have actually been going around and making competitive YouTubes for fun. You know, like people pay them to do the exact same thing, they just tweak it or something. I would believe that because having been on Rumble and used their uploader system, it's very similar to YouTube. Well, like old YouTube. So it wouldn't surprise me, because I mean it's a hard thing to make something like this. But yet. My ideal would have been if that person hadn't ripped us off, and our accountant person, or the person who was helping us with our taxes, accountant group or whatever, if he hadn't screwed up, what we would have done, we would have had a house by now. Probably would have had a couple kids. The stress makes it very hard to have successful pregnancies. I probably would have done some voiceover stuff on the side as early as, like, in my 30s. Especially when we were close to New York City. That would have been ideal. There were a lot of anime agencies that were in New York City from 2012 until about 2017. And most of them have relocated to Texas and Atlanta, I believe. I think. I have one friend who's in the voiceover industry, but he's never done anything really substantial. But he says he makes good money doing background characters. And he's in a lot of different shows, but he's just like, he's a background character. So he doesn't even play like the best friend of the main character. He's like, I don't even know how we explain the role. He has a couple lines in a couple animes, like in like a classroom setting, but he's not like a friend of the main lead. He's kind of like a friend of the best friend character, or you know, the boss of like the mom that works at a company or something like that. That's how he explained his roles, and he says there's a lot of work for that kind of stuff, but he says the problem is you need to relocate, number one, and he says number two, you have to have the availability. He says with your schedule, he says you're like a living vampire. He says you don't even get a full like 6 hours of sleep a day, do you? I said nope. He says yeah. He says that'd be impossible. He says no agency would probably hire you because of your schedule. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably true. So when based on what he said, I didn't even, you know, give it a thought. It's like, yeah, I probably can't do that, because how in the world would I do it? Take down an enemy with a tightrope. Oh, that's right, tightrope action. I completely forgot. Where is the best places for tightrope? Oh, right here. I'm gonna get shot. Can I make things easier for myself? No, I cannot. Gonna get shot. Gonna get shot. Here we go! Getting shot! Smoke bomb! Smoke bomb! Ooh, I might be able to pull this off. Maybe. What? Isn't he over here? Isn't he over by this grate? I just knocked him down. Come on, stupid. Come this way. No! The other way! Walk this way! You jerk face! Creep! Creepazoid! Yes, 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 yes. This way, this way, this way, this way. Follow my voice. No, that's wrong. Wrong! Wrong! I hate you. I'm just gonna sneak up behind you and make your life miserable now. Da 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 da. Walk this way, don't delay. Walk this way. Try here. So I have to get him through the grate? Yep. Wait. Perform a vent take. Yeah, venting anger is this thing. They never come here. They think about it. They're like, this might be the way to go, but no, they don't. Oh, wait. Maybe. Maybe. There's a possibility. Come on, just a little bit more. You fool. You dirty, dirty, dirty fool. Come investigate, stupid. Come investigate. You know you want to. Bam, baby. There we go. Now I just need to blow one of these turkeys up and we're good to go. Eventually. I think he's the last one, actually. The question is, how do we get this fool over here? No, that's an electric batarang. Don't use that. Climb up the ladder, guy. You gonna climb up the ladder? Nope. Do these people not investigate, like, ever? Oh my gosh, she's gonna climb up. And there she goes! Well, that took a while. On the bright side, you don't live in North Korea. Oh yeah, I would have ended up in the North Korean gulag forever speaking out against the government. I've been a big anti-government person my whole life, so they would have seen me as a troublemaker. My situation makes me very untrusting of people. Whatever I can't do with my own two hands and my mind, you know, I get very skeptical. And also, you know, I think the saddest thing I learned is that there are so many organizations out there that their goal is to harm and scam you more than to help you. And they listen to your case and they say they want to help you, but they want to make you a client of their company, and they're not even really going to help you. And, you know, it's a shame that after all these years, because what's sad is, like I said, millions of people in our country get scammed by, like, or hurt by the IRS for things that they never did, and then they're indebted to the IRS their whole life. Like, because the IRS can't be held accountable for any mistakes they make. The mistake is always, you know, punished to the citizen, which doesn't make any sense. They're like the most protected government branch in our, well, government. And it's like super shady. Because, I mean, human beings make mistakes, but, like, I don't believe that citizens should be held accountable for the mistakes of a government agency. You know, especially to the extent that they can hold people. So. And I especially, I don't like how there's all these agencies that prey on innocent people trying to get help. That, to me, that hurts my soul. It's like, you try to reach out for help, and then you find out from someone else, hey, don't work with this agency because this place is not legit. And it's like, well, where's there a legit company? And you find out there really isn't one. That's heartbreaking. Because, like, how do you get help? You can't. Do I think the government had anything to do with YouTube's downfall? No. YouTube's slow decline is YouTube's fault. It's no fault but their own. The government hasn't done anything. YouTube's just stupid. The COPPA thing was their fault. They bragged that they were the #1 kids platform in the world because they were trying to make more money. And then the wrong agency heard about it and they got sued for like $450 million. Which, the sad thing is, they had the money. But because they were mad that they lost the money, they took it out on the content creators, the bread and butter of the thing. And they basically were looking at, well, what kind of group can we throw under the bus to punish them for what we did? And so they went after the defenseless family-friendly channels, and they routed us up, and they, you know, had us become the fall people. It's like, oh, it's because of these people making this kind of content. You know, they're the ones at fault. When it's like the one at fault for breaking the law was YouTube, and they had the money. And then they basically punished, I think it was like 15,000 content creators around the world that had family-friendly branding. And they never got rid of the people that were responsible. Like, the ElsaGate people are still on YouTube, and they're still monetized. But there are thousands of family-friendly channels that left between 2019 and 2021. They went out of business. Amber and I have just stuck around longer because, you know, we're stubborn. But we can only keep this going until 2026, probably. Because it's just, you lose thousands of dollars a year. Until eventually you're just, that's it. Most channels only have like growth, like actual growth. Like even the big channels, they're not making anywhere what they were like years ago. Like everybody's on a slow decline. Some are on a rapid decline, but others are on a slow decline. It's like going downstairs instead of like being on a slip and or a slide. Instead of being on a slide situation, everybody's walking downstairs. You're not even walking back up the stairs. Everybody's walking down them. What was this again? Combat training? Me too, Marcus. I don't like them either. But, you know, I actually, I've been writing U.S. presidents for years, asking them to come up with, because every administration makes, like, some type of weird funding group that does something. Like, the Biden administration basically gave funding to game companies and private institutions to make, like, DEI stuff. Bush did stuff about, like, you know, spying on American citizens. Clinton did, like... I forget what he did, something for education, I thought. But then that was later used to do something else. I don't know what Trump has ever done, except for write all kinds of stuff. But anyway, every like, for the past, like, probably 12 years now, I've written U.S. presidents asking them to come up with programs that can actually help people that are burdened by the IRS. And we never hear back. Because, I mean, you can actually write letters to your senators and to the president if you want to. You probably never hear back from them, but, you know, at least you did it. So, I mean, I came up with some, like, relief program stuff for people afflicted by the IRS. Whether or not, you know, anything happens, but at least it's like I wrote it again. It's probably going to be ignored because you can't really get rid of the IRS. How in the world is, you know, how in the world would that work? But I feel like you could at least, like, lower people's percentage of taxes that they owe. It keeps going up. And I think it's insane that there are people paying 23 to 25% of their income in taxes. That's not how it's supposed to go. From a biblical standpoint, you're only supposed to give God 10%. 10% of everything you owe. Like, when you earn an income, you give 10% back to God. So you're giving twice that back to the government. That's insane. That can't be legal. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. And then when you ask them about that, they're like, oh yeah, that's totally normal. It's like, no, I don't think it is. I don't think that's normal at all. And they're like, well, inflation. It's like, I don't think so. But I hate going to the government offices. I don't like it. It just feels like, I don't know. Have you guys ever felt like what it's like to experience evil? Like, it just makes when you're there, your spine kind of crawls. Like, you get like this weird tingling sensation that just feels off. So whenever I would sit at the IRS office, like even locally, I feel the heebie-jeebies. Just, it feels off. Feels like you're in a den of wickedness. And that, you know, not only the people there are just wasting your time, but they're not going to help you anyway. It's like, why are you there? It's like they enjoy watching people, like, be tormented. Almost like you're in hell. Get all symbolic on you. Do I have a favorite U.S. president? Not really, no. I've only voted for one president in 20 years, and that was Bush. And I voted, I don't think I voted for him the first time. I don't think so. I don't think I was at the voting age. No, I wasn't 18 yet, so I couldn't vote for his first term. I voted for his second term. I didn't vote during the Romney and Obama thing, and I didn't vote for Trump against Hillary, and I didn't vote in this election. I didn't see a point. But yeah, every day I sit here, every day I get up, in the back of my mind, it's like I'm just like a mess. And I try not to let it impact me. I got a spooky letter recently from them, and it's just like I'm already doing everything I can, and they're wanting more. And it is legit because it's them. They can't call you, but they write you letters, and they threaten you. And I'm already giving them everything I have. So it's just it's terrifying. It's basically like being a prisoner in your own home or a prisoner in your own country. I can't even like really leave the country to go to press events because they think I'm a flight risk. And the funny thing is, I haven't done anything wrong. Like, I didn't create any charity scams. I didn't, like, assault my girlfriend on a stream. I haven't done any of, like, illegal things ever. And it's like I'm treated worse than some of the scummiest YouTubers in the world. It's very strange. It's enough to break a normal person, but I'm not normal. I think a lot of that has to do with my ADD. That's why I'm able to survive, is because I already have what's known as an abnormal brain because of my ADD and dyslexia and stuff like that. So it's like it's somehow keeping me balanced, but most people probably just like either wallow in despair or jump out a window or become like a become like that scene in Naked Gun 3 with the postal workers, where the postal workers go postal. They just completely lose it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I try not to let it get to me, but some days are worse than others. Some days it's just like, well, crap. And before, I think how I stayed sane is I actually saw growth on our channel. I saw growth in our income, because it's like, okay, so they're expecting this. I can pay this. I can afford this. I shouldn't have to pay this, but, you know, I've got a way to do this. And every day it's like, every day is worse and worse on YouTube. And there's nothing I can do about it. It's basically like I've literally plugged every hole on this ship, on this channel, and it's still sinking. And all my friends that I know that are content creators, their ships are sinking too, and they've never had any problems. They're not even on their channels every day anymore. And I'm like, well, how are you guys still in business? They're like, oh, we invest, and we're on these kids apps, and we're doing all this other stuff. And it's just like, how come you guys never got impacted by COPPA the way we did, when you have more like kid targeted content than we ever did? It doesn't make any sense. But I also know that there's spiritual forces after me at the same time. So not only do I have secular people after me, but we're being constantly attacked by, like, you know, supernatural demons and things like that every day because of our, you know, religious stance. So it's like we're like the biggest bullseye in this industry for all kinds of freaks and weirdos and things. And it's a lot. It's a lot to try to have that type of mental fortitude to be like, okay, so how are you going to survive this today? It's like, I just take each day at a time. My wife likes to plan ahead, but I can't do that because I don't see how I survive day to day. So I'm just like, instead of us planning a year in advance for something, why don't we just go till Tuesday? We'll do this, we'll do that. We'll just try to pace it as best we can. Concussion detonator, quick fire. I've never done that. ZL and A? That's a thing? No, it's not. ZL and A is a thing. I will try it. I don't think I've ever done this. Oh, wow! I missed! Well, that sucked. After they get detonated, what? Oh, that's easy. Okay, then what's the next one? Explosive gel, I've done that one. That was easy. There it is. Walk into this. Walk into this. Walk into this. Walk into this. Okay, never mind. Wait, did that not work? Why? How many people? Place an explosive gel trap on the ground. Right. The hostile counter will indicate how many enemies. Use the Oh, 2 enemies at once. Oh, okay, that's not too bad. So basically what you want to do is you have to take out the guy with the gun first. What was that? That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Okay, take out the gun. He can't use it no more. There you go. No one else has the gun, right? Okay, walk into this. There we go. Alright, now what? Special combo multi-ground takedown. That's the Batarang thing. So there you go. Whoa. That was weird. Batman kicking somebody who's not there. I hate you. But there's no gun anymore, so... Okay, I'm trying to do something, so you stop doing that, please. I'm sorry, did he somehow connect from all the way across the what? Alright, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. There we go. And sometimes this game is just super weird. It's super weird. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. There has to be something that normal citizens can do to get... You shouldn't, like, when 20 years ago, 25 years ago, not even, when I joined the workforce at like 17 or 18, it was like 17, and they were taking stuff from my job to go toward taxes and stuff, they were only taking about 7 or 8% of my income. And for us, now it's like 23% of our income, but 10 years ago was only about 11%. And here's the funny thing. I talked to my dad, and my dad says the government up until 20 years ago was always taking about 10% for your taxes. And he says it's just like over the past like 6 or 7 years, like not even 6, like 5 years, it's been about like 20% for most people. And nobody really talks about this, though. It's just kind of like we're just expected to bow down to the IRS and just do it. But it's like something doesn't add up. You know, it's not... We're not supposed to be like... part of the reason why we rebelled against the British Empire is because the taxes were so high. What's funny is the taxes that are happening right now for people are higher than they've ever been. For most people, most normal people, like middle class and even people who are poor, are paying an insane amount in taxes. And very few people brought that up even during the election. That's the kind of stuff that needs to be fixed, like big time. Instead of worrying about tariffs and all this other stuff, you need to worry about what's going on, for what actual people have to worry about. Because if your taxes weren't so high and the percentage wasn't so high, most people could afford, like, you know, basic necessities, food, gas, electricity, that kind of stuff, without any problems. But I don't think people are really paying attention to how much of a percentage that is being taken from them. They're just, you know, it's just kind of like being a good citizen, just paying your taxes. A lot of people don't, like, question what's going on. They just do it. My problem is I'm so detached from the machine that I always constantly ask questions. I don't just accept things the way they are. I want to know why this is like this. Everybody else is just content with living their lives and doing whatever, and I always have to ask questions. Like, people say, well, you know, you're more like Batman. It's like, am I? It's like, I feel like I'm more like the Question. I'm more like the crazy dude who doesn't have a face. Just going around, like, seeing conspiracies everywhere. And most of the time, I'm right. And it scares me. You know, because the thing that I never liked about the Question superhero is, yes, he would uncover a lot of crazy stuff, but he never found any solutions. He just found more problems. What we need are solutions. Problems are always going to arise, but how do we deal with the... Who's going to come up with the solution? Oh no, that's the biggest. I'll tell you right now. I'll blow your mind, Raven. Most of our taxes went to fuel the war in Ukraine. Like, they say that it goes locally to repair roads and bridges, and, you know, deal with, like, statewide issues. It doesn't, because just driving from Pennsylvania to New York, the roads are a mess. The roads are in disrepair. The bridges look terrible. Even your local community, the sidewalks are all cracked. Neighborhoods look terrible. Where's all the money going? Where's all these billions of dollars that the government is stealing from everyday Americans, like, every April? Where is it going? It's going to fuel wars. It's going overseas. It's going to bail out other countries. It's not bailing us out. That's where it's going. It's not rocket science. But this is... You have to remember, the media and the government don't want you to know this, because if you get smart and you find out where your money's going, then you can protest. And they just want you to be a good little citizen and do what they say. When you have big government, that's what they want. When you have smaller government, those people are willing to actually listen to you. When you have big government tells you what to do, and you need to shut up and do it. It's scary, but that's the truth. I mean, democracy can be great. It's just, if you have corrupt people in office, I mean, any type of government can be bad. Well, that's why I'm anti-government, is because I don't trust anybody. Maybe if I had a better life, then yeah, but I question everything. Yeah, that's pretty much it, John. That's why, you know, it always surprises me, like, how you have all these influencers on TikTok and stuff like that, like the past administration. They're basically bootlickers, like, explaining how much good the government's doing for them. It's like, besides being paid to basically be like an influencer for the White House, like, what has the government actually done? If they would actually sit and look at their taxes, if they would sit and look at the cost of living, a lot of these people are so oblivious, and they like having supposedly an agency look out for them. But really think about it. Are they really looking out for you? They say they're doing bailouts, but why is the homeless situation so big? Why are the roads so bad? You know, how are we really being protected? You know, they've cut the police budget. They've messed with firefighters. Like, where is all this money going? Why isn't this money actually helping us, the people that live here? You know? Because when I was a kid, I'll tell you what, your taxes actually went someplace. Like, the cities looked nice, the roads were in better condition. We weren't in any wars that I know of, outside of, like, Desert Storm lasted a little bit in the 90s. And there were a couple military things, but nothing until, like, 9/11. There wasn't really any big military, like, police campaigns that we know of. And the world looked a lot better. Well, I mean, in the States. I'd been to California in the 90s, and then I went to California in the 2000s, like when I worked as a journalist. And the difference between LA and Hollywood was insane. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, E3 was held in LA. And people can help me out if I'm not remembering correctly. But we stayed in a hotel that was about 35 minutes away from the airport. I think it was Los Angeles. I believe so. And right outside of our hotel, leading down to the beach at one of these hotels we stayed at, was like an army of homeless tents. And there was waste on the ground. Like, not the type of waste you're thinking of. Human waste. On the sidewalk. And no one was doing anything about it. And then on the other side of the road, there's like all these like rich people with like Gucci bags and weird sandals and, you know, weird highlights in their hair, stuff like that. And they're literally walking over homeless people. And in New York City, the difference is, like, because I went to New York City for work a lot as, like, the reporter liaison for Got Game and Game Zone, like, for years. So I would end up going to New York City in the spring, in the winter, in the summer, like, for different press events for Namco, Konami, Nintendo, not WayForward, what was that company? Atlas, before it got bought by Sega events, things like that. Most places in New York City from like 2012 through the last time I was in New York City was like for work was 2020. And for the most part, the city looked clean. If there was a homeless guy on the street, like someone would kind of get them out of the road or take them to like a Salvation Army or something. They would try to, you know, do something. They might be rude to them, like, hey, get out of the street. And then they walk over them and they, you know, help them out of the street. But, like, it was never the situation like L.A. where literally it looked like a two-faced situation. One side of the road was filth and tents and people begging and wearing rags. And on the other side of the street, like split right down the middle, was all these nice-looking trees and no trash and all these nice-looking pretty people. And then on the other side, you know, literally like a Harvey Dent situation is just terrible. And New York City wasn't like that for the longest time. Until the pandemic. I heard it got pretty bad during the pandemic, but New York City's kind of getting bitter. I drove through New York City on the way to Grandma's memorial. And for the most part, the city doesn't look too bad. But, I mean, that's what the LA situation was like when I was there for E3. And no one ever brought it up. It was just expected. It's like, well, this is just how it is. We have so many homeless. It's like, but, you know, you say you have problems with all these church organizations and you don't want them in your state, but without them, your homeless situation would be even worse. And they're just like, you know, it's just a part of life here. And it's like, but you just can't accept that and shrug and just be like, it is what it is. It's like, that's terrifying. It's like, why can't you guys do something about this? Like, I wouldn't want to live in a town or city like that. I was just, honestly, I was waiting for the day that I heard that some type of, like, rat plague or something had wiped out LA. Like, because you realize that the bubonic plague in Europe started because rats were mixing with human waste and all this other stuff, and it got this nasty disease that they spread all throughout Europe like wildfire. And literally you have people living in filth in LA, and it's just considered normal. They don't clean it up. They don't do anything about it. And I've always just wondered after I saw it, it's like, this city is literally going to be destroyed by disease. And of course, years later, it was destroyed by fire, but it's very surprising to me, you know? It's like that city was a ticking time bomb for another type of disaster for the longest time. And it's strange to me that people don't think the same way I do. Because you see this stuff and you just, like, you kind of... I don't like how people just shrug it off. Like, you know, It's like, it's terrible. It's like, you know, that's why I don't believe government really helps people, because they see this stuff all the time. And it's like, what are they using all the money they're getting for? A lot of these people are becoming millionaires from insider trading and all this other stuff. Like, why aren't they actually helping their community? Because they don't care. How did I learn all this stuff? Just like... how do I explain this? From the areas that I lived in, you grew up and you learned stuff. I used to also work at a Salvation Army in Chicago. So I did help the homeless. I've worked at soup kitchens. I've worked with organizations, as well as I helped, I wouldn't say finance, but like, I haven't been able to donate to organizations in years because we're in such dire financial strait. But I've given a lot of proceeds from, like, when my YouTube channel was popping, I gave to agencies in Los Angeles that dealt with the homeless, New York City. I worked with companies in Asia to build wells for people that needed clean water. We did that for about 4 or 5 years. The time that we worked with that faith-based organization, we built... they said I paid for 75 wells in impoverished towns and villages in places like Africa, parts of India, Tibet, what was that? Taiwan. What was the other country? Can't remember the name. But we used to donate a good portion of our check because, you know, we gave 10% to God. And, you know, our check was always constant. Like, we always made the same amount of money every month. So we would donate, I don't know, probably like 10% went to the church, and we gave like 6 or 7% to charity, like every month for up until 2019. Once our channel got hacked, our income went down by like a lot, so I haven't been able to do any like really big charitable donations in a long time. I still donate, but it's a very small percentage, and I feel guilty about it because it's like, I don't see how this is going to help at all. So to give you a comparison, instead of giving like $1,000 to an agency to help with like clean water and doing stuff, I can only afford to give them about $50 a month. Or, you know, instead of giving like $500 to like a homeless organization to help with stuff, I can only do about 25 or something like that. My amount of like donations have gone down, and I felt really sad. Because I had a heart to help people, and I haven't been able to do it for years. It's depressing. And I still somehow managed to give to the church, but it's not really 10%, so I feel like I'm going to be cursed by God. Because I can't hit that 10% anymore. Haven't been able to give 10% to God and since 2019, I think, 2020. I give what I can, but, you know, it goes up against what the Bible says. Bible says 10%. So, I've probably been not in good shape for a long time because of that. And maybe if I was able to do 10%, I wouldn't be cursed. Who knows? I'm not saying I'm cursed by him, but I'm just like, I'm cursed by the world. That's what it feels like.
I'm putting freak on the menu.
It's actually interesting. We had somebody, like, had a satanic person come to our channel a couple weeks ago. Or not a week ago. It was this week. They came and they said they were trying to pray that I had a heart attack because I'm so evil. And that happened on, what was that stream? Happened on the Breath of the Wild stream, I believe. I just kind of shrugged it off as best I could, but I was kind of having a panic attack. I get weirdos from time to time, but some days I can handle it, and other days it's like, these people just like, that's why I know they're demons. Like they're just evil, because they know what to do to mess with me, you know. It's a lot some days. And, you know, a lot of people are mad that I'm still on YouTube, because majority of the people that I knew that worked on YouTube, they're all gone. Like, they left.
Wipe the street.
Okay, so I'm supposed to do a takedown. Okay, try it again. Wait, aren't I supposed to hold it in? Away and dodge? What? There it is. So, it's like, most of the content creators that I know, they're all what I would call, like, the second or third wave of YouTubers. All the people that started the same time as me are either retired, or they left for other platforms, or they're strictly Patreon. Be surprised, there's a good group of older YouTubers that only make content on Patreon, and they make a really good living. Like, they left YouTube back during the first or second ad apocalypse, and they've been over there making content. They just have their social media on Twitter or Facebook, and they do all their content through Patreon. And, you know, good for them, but, like, we don't really talk much. I know Johnny a little bit, but we're not tight. Like, we're aware of each other, because we started around the same time. And I know James and Mike to an extent, and they know me as that Batman guy, but we're not, like, friends, and I wouldn't even call us acquaintances. It's not like a screw attack situation between me and James. We worked for the same company, like, for a while, like the same network, so we knew each other through that network. But most content creators that I actually knew that still talk to me are not on the platform. There is three guys, and one girl that I've worked with that are still kind of on YouTube, but not really. Two of them have had their channels abandoned for 2 years now. They're just gone. Nobody knows what happened to them. And the one girl got married, and occasionally she does a podcast, but she's gotten kind of weird. Like, I'm honestly surprised that her husband hasn't left her yet, because she's, like, doing some bizarre stuff. I'm not going to get into it, but it has to do with gender identity stuff. and she's like driving her husband and her child crazy. And you know, for the longest time you couldn't stand up to these people. You couldn't say things. But she's kind of still on YouTube, but not really. And then there was one guy who used to have a Lego channel that I knew pretty well. And he had to leave YouTube because of Kappa. So that's about it. Like, every other person that I knew from, like, 2007 that started around the same time as me, that's what happened to them. So I have no, what's the word I'm looking for? I have no net. Like, it's just me. And the other YouTubers that are around, they're still technically new blood. Like, most of their channels aren't even 10 years old yet. And they're good people, don't get me wrong, but it's like, I don't relate to them because they're still on their roller coaster is just starting to come down, whereas mine's been going up and down for like almost 20 years. Their roller coaster, from me looking at their channels, they go down and then they go back up, and it levels off a little bit, and then there's an insane drop where they go down completely, and then it goes up sharply like they're botting. So, and I never feel comfortable talking to them because I don't know, it looks like botting to me, because if you bot with your channel, then your numbers would go straight up. Whereas if you're not botting, like, gradual viewership is kind of like at a slant, where instead of the arrow shooting straight up, it's supposed to, like, natural progression is like a incline, I guess you would call it. And any content creator can tell who's botting when you look at somebody's channel through Social Blade, because, like, the numbers shoot up like a rocket instead of it, like, being like a natural, like, kind of staircase or, like, incline progression. So I don't feel comfortable talking to those guys because I know they're doing shady stuff. And me being a straight arrow, it's like, I tend to say things that upset people. It's an ADD thing, I can't help it. Because I see something that's kind of taboo, and I'm just like, you know, because they're bragging about how all this and that is working out really well for them. You know, they're flexing, so to speak. And then you see it, and you're like, well, that's not legit. And then you go to their YouTube channel, and you see all these, like, comments that are exactly the same with, like, 50 different people. So it's like, okay, they paid a company to, you know, write comments for them to help with engagement. And it's like, I just can't talk to these people. Like, it's hard to have friends with cheaters, I guess you could say. And there's a lot of generation of YouTubers that do that. And since I've never botted and I've never done any of that stuff, it's like, for one, I have nothing to talk to them about. And two, when I'm having actual problems, I know what their solution is. It's to cheat. But the problem is, when a channel that's already struggling cheats, they're more on YouTube's radar than ever before. And now YouTube has, you know, a way to get you because you broke terms of service. And they do actually get rid of channels all the time for that kind of stuff. So it's like, you're kind of like stuck. What is this? Power gadgets. Not for much longer, Zeus. I'm going crazy, man. I've been through hell and back. It feels like. My foundation can only take so much. Yeah, I don't know how I'm still here. I mean, I know why I'm still here. I don't have a choice, but it's hard. Yeah, that's the best way to explain it. Critical strike, focus mode, power gadgets. What are power gadgets? Reach a 12x multiplier, then quick fire the batarang, bat claw, explosive gel, concussion detonator, or glue grenade to perform power gadgets. Use one quick fire gadget while in focus mode. Focus mode? You mean the red? I've never seen a power gadget. Alright, I guess I'll try it. Is it a sin to look out for yourself? Probably. I mean, there's lots of sins. I'm not a perfect person. I'm a sinful person. I'm a bad person. I have tried to help out other YouTubers that were on a path of self-destruction. The problem is those guys wouldn't let me help. I've talked 2 YouTubers out of self-deleting, and that is incredibly stressful. And I'm not young enough to do that anymore. And I hope it never happens again. Because I've literally heard the click of the object of their, you know, thing in the background, and that's incredibly terrifying. Especially when you know the person and you're completely helpless. So I've been in that situation twice. And thank God, from the grace of God, I was able to talk the person down. And they're much better now. One is off YouTube completely and got a job outside of YouTube. The other person is still making content like nothing happened. So I would say the guy that's still on YouTube handled it better, but that was a scary situation. So I never want to do that again. I've had YouTubers talk to me when their marriage breaks up, and I've tried to listen to them as much as possible, but it, you know, one guy got really mad at me that I was still married, and I'm just like, you called me, dude. You wanted my advice for some reason. You know, so that's always weird. Like, they call up and they cry and they seek your advice, and then, like, a flip of the switch, they get mad and they start cussing you out and they hang up. When you didn't even say anything. Like, I was getting ready to say something after the person talked, and then all of a sudden, it's like, you know, flip of the switch, and all of a sudden they're cussing me out, and all I did was just take their call and listen. So I don't understand. But I mean, I don't really talk to a lot of YouTubers that much anymore because of a lot of weird situations. When drama channels people call you on the phone, they just want to talk about politics, and I don't really want to do that. When content creators call, they want to talk about their life problems, and I just want to talk about video games. So, you know, there's only a couple content creators that I text that just talk about games. Everybody else has problems that I'm dealing with problems too, and they never let me talk. So I don't think I'm a very good friend to these people. Maybe I have an ego, I don't know. How many Arkham Origins streams remain? This has been filler for so long, I don't know. I'm filling the gap. Just trying to keep things stable. I don't know if it's working or not. My views are probably in the toilet right now. I haven't even checked. I'm kind of scared to check. I bet you it's below 1,000. Holy crap. Yeah, I was right. See, this is why I make a YouTube short at night. A YouTube short keeps things like a band-aid. Without it, even live streaming, this is what sucks. I haven't even been live streaming 2 hours yet, and YouTube's already discounted the views of the stream. Like, it's not even helping my real-time views. It just doesn't exist. I feel that's my fault, though, because somebody at YouTube a couple years ago said, well, how do you keep your views so consistent? And I said, well, I've noticed that for about 2.5 hours, whatever live stream you're doing counts as viewership. So I keep my channel stable with multiple live streams. And I was just trying to help another channel out. And then 2 months later, When I live streamed, I noticed that the views were only counted for about an hour and 20 minutes instead of like 2 hours and 45 minutes. So there's a sharp cutoff. And I'm just thinking, great. So because I said that to this person that was struggling or whatever, you know, they went and they told their probably partner manager, and then they screwed us all over. So I don't like to share secrets with our content creators because they screw it up. That's why, you know, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing with a lot of stuff. When people, as a Christian, when people reach out for help, I'm supposed to help them. That's what it's supposed to be. But every time I help people, you know, I end up getting screwed over. So it's like, I don't know if I'm starting my villain arc where I'm going to become an atheist or what. But like, I'm very tired. I'm very hurt. I'm very confused. I'm very angry. Most of all, I'm very tired. I'm always tired. And very angry. All the time. All the time. So, I mean, I haven't been very good to my YouTube friends because they call me for advice on how to help their channel, and I've just not taken their calls anymore. Because I feel like whenever I give people advice, then my job gets harder. Because then certain tricks that I'm doing to keep things stable disappear. Live streaming, YouTube Shorts, all that other stuff. None of it seems to work anymore. Also, just to be clear, I'm too scared of God to become an atheist than to stop believing in God. So I literally have a fear of God in me, but it's not a healthy fear. The fan upstairs is loud. I don't want to tell you what's happening.
What's happening?
You're still too early for the stream. I can't stop yet.
What's happening?
Well, the views are 500 below 1,000.
That's interesting, since people say I'm not important.
So I'm live streaming right now, and it's like my views were discounted. They're just gone. So I'm basically going crazy. And I'm live.
Are you on mute?
Nope, I'm not on mute. I've been here this entire time. They're keeping me somewhat sane, mostly. They're asking me questions about Batman and stuff, doing my best to answer things. Same old, same old.
Aren't people watching the shorts?
I did have the shorts playlist circulating a while ago. I was going to make a YouTube short on my phone, but I'm out of batteries, so I can't.
Can you just plug your phone into the...
It's plugged in upstairs. But you're still too early, honey. His stream's not going to be until 1 something. You're about an hour too early. This stream is only at 700. So I can't stop till it's at 1,000.
Alright, honey. What is happening right now on the screen?
I'm trying to do the metal nonsense. Trying to do the metals.
Alright, thank you for the help, American Tiger.
Focus your... What? Focus mode slows your enemies in combat and increases the damage of your... What? Reach 12x multiplier to enter a focus mode? Okay. I mean, aren't I already in a focus mode? I'm in focus mode right now. Why does this not work?
Alright. Thank you for the super chat, American Tiger. You're breathtaking. This is why.
Thank you, American Tiger. My notification system on the streaming software is not working, so that's why I can't see super chats and highlighted messages. Skeletor's busted. I am in focus mode. Focus mode slows your enemies in combat to increase your damage. Yeah. And then after that, what? I don't have a lot of pizza? Yeah, so I'll have a piece of pizza later. Hooray, there we go.
Why me?
Well, we ate the fish, honey.
I'm here to put you down.
Why don't you have some breadsticks? There's plenty of those. Yeah, I know that. Liquid gold. Well, I mean, when in doubt, you can always have cereal. Not every cereal's a carb, I don't think. Really? Every grain is a carb? Okay. Well, I mean, that was my solution. My solution's not going to work, so. Okay. He-Man got to the Skeletor emote. Well, it breaks sometimes because when you add an emote that has sound to it, or when you add a GIF that has sound to it, sometimes the sound will play and sometimes it won't. And sometimes, if the sound doesn't work, it can cause the GIF to break. And then sometimes between streams, I have to fix the GIF thing. Like, you know, it's not a perfect system. Live streaming is... It's a very chaotic thing. Like, when you make a video, you're in control of putting your intros and whatever you want to place into a video. That's on you. You're trusting your faith in a streaming program that you think is going to work every time, and it doesn't always work. The mic will cut out, the sound will disappear, sometimes people won't see picture, there could be like some type of connection problem and Elgato won't recognize something when you turn on the program. Then you have to reset your stream. Yeah, nobody live streams as much as we do. Yeah, no one's supposed to live stream this much. I have Twitch streamers all the time tell me I stream too much. And it's like, I'm aware, but I have no choice. No. I know you are. Since no other YouTuber has asked, I have people ask, like, our viewers ask us every day how we're doing. Right now, I'm not doing the best. Mostly because I said I'm tired. I already said that. I also smell smoke, and I know there's no smoke. So, that's always fun. And also, our air conditioner slash heating unit outside is running really hard to the point where it woke Amber up. And it's 5 degrees outside. That means the snow that's outside is like rock right now. It's not soft and fluffy. If you fell on the snow out here, you'd get seriously hurt because it's like ice. They just compound. They just compound. Maybe my head is creating the smoke? Possibly. You can hallucinate if you overwork. Happens in Japan all the time.
Maybe this'll be a challenge.
Ninjas. Last stream was really fun. It was all story. Yeah. What do I have on the featured video? Arkham. Popular videos that people are watching. Views always go down after you've been streaming for 2 hours. I think people have been liking this video. People have been liking this video. Yeah, I know what I said. That's what it usually is. It's not working. Had the same problem last night with the Dragon Ball stream. I had... You know how many people I had watching Dragon Ball? What? That's true. No. I know the channel drops without you. It's always been like that.
Alright, well, I'm gonna do my thing now.
Okay.
And as I start doing my thing, which is asking people to watch the shorts every 4 seconds, then
But
views will
you didn't let... I was talking to you and you didn't let me finish. I was talking about Dragon Ball and you didn't... So I'm gonna just tell you and then you can listen if you want, but... The Dragon Ball stream had 135 people watching last night. It took over 3 hours for it to hit 1,000 views. Its watch time was like at 22 minutes. And the watch time on this stream is 13 minutes. Or 13 or 14 minutes with 700 views, and it has like 90 people with 140 likes already.
Yep, I hate to break it to you, because no one was watching the shorts, because I wasn't there to ask for it.
So it's like the inconsistency between the Dragon Ball and this stream, it doesn't make any sense. Because the Dragon Ball stream had more people and it had less views. This one has more views with less people, and it has less watch time than the Dragon Ball stream had.
Usually I don't say these kind of things out loud to my audience.
I'm crazy. What do you want from me? Better than keeping all these thoughts in my head and for me to go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Thank you for the super chat. I see something yellow. If it's something Batman related, I'll talk about it after this section. Because I can only see the color. I can't see the...
You have read Absolute Batman. No, I'm right here!
It's not your job to answer the questions. I'll have I read Absolute Batman? I've read a couple chapters or books. No, it's not your job to answer stuff. Because I'll have a section where Batman will be standing there waiting for me to hit the button after this combat section. I'm not kind to you. I could be better. No, I drive you nuts all the time. I drive myself nuts all the time. Okay. So, Absolute Batman, have I read it? Yes. I like the art style, but I don't like Bruce Wayne. I don't like the fact that Bruce Wayne reinforces a stereotype that I don't like, that was started, I don't remember who did it. It was in DC Comics, like, over the past, like, 5 years, where they took away Bruce Wayne's wealth, and they made him just like an average guy, and he still was able to do Batman stuff. So I don't like that about Absolute Batman, how he's a dude who still has one of his parents alive, and he has really no money, and he makes his own stuff, and he's like this super roided, like kind of Bane-like character. I like the storytelling, and I like the art style, but I don't like how they changed some of like Batman's core aspects of him. Like, it bothers me because it feels like the only reason DC Comics made that change was so that they could appeal to the 1% of people that don't read comics, that don't like Bruce Wayne because he's rich. So then they gave them a poor Batman and they still don't read it. Like, the Batman issues still aren't selling anywhere where they should be. They should easily be selling like 1 million a month or whatever, and they're only getting like a few 100,000 or something like that. The change was made to appease whack jobs, and I don't like it. But I like the direction that they go with the... I think that Batman, how he deals with stuff is fine. I just don't like his... how they get rid of like some core attributes of Bruce Wayne to make him like this big, like, you know, Bane-like character. So that's my honest opinion. It's not one of my favorite Elseworlds. It's not bad. It could be worse, but it reinforces that like SJW stereotype that I can't stand. That the only reason that Batman is, you know, a bad character is because he's wealthy and, you know, he beats up poor people with mental illness. Like, that's so that, you know, that's been one of their stupid arguments for 20 years. And to see that, you know, given manifestation, basically, it really ticks me off. Because it's like, you're throwing these idiots a bone, and like, you should never give in to these freaks and weirdos.
There's plenty of people with mental illness that struggle with mental illness and take medicine, and they try to, like, you know, live their daily lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you have mental illness doesn't mean you have to commit crimes. There's people that try to, you know, keep their mental illness under check. I'm just saying, like...
If Joker was gone, who would be Batman's arch nemesis? Ra's.
Having mental illness doesn't give you the right to commit crimes.
If you go back and you read the 70s and 80s, like, Batman books, Ra's al Ghul is technically Batman's arch nemesis because he knows everything about Batman. He knows every person that Bruce Wayne's ever cared about. He knows all his friends. He can get to Bruce at any time, and Batman knows this. So Batman is always constantly, in the back of his mind, worried about Ra's or Raz's associates pulling some type of shenanigans. Whereas most of Batman's rogue gallery doesn't know his secret identity. So the biggest threat to Batman and Bruce Wayne has always been Ra's al Ghul. So I always view him as like Batman's greatest threat. I wouldn't say arch nemesis. Like, the Joker always tests Batman and does lots of, you know, stuff. He's the opposite of the Dark Knight. But I'd say the most dangerous Batman character to Batman is someone who knows who he really is. Because, you know, there's no way that as a superhero's greatest concern is someone finding out who they are, and especially if they have family, because your family is now a target to these crazy people. And, you know, Ra's knows everything. There's lots of things that he could do to get to Batman. He could even use an ex-girlfriend that Bruce still cares about. You know? And there's no way that he can protect that person either. It's like a helplessness that few other rogues have that, you know, ability to do to Batman. If Joker knew who Batman was, which he did in the New 52, he went crazy and was able to take down the Bat family pretty easily because he was able to get them when they were defenseless. When they were just living their life normally. You know? I don't know if Joker still knows Batman's secret identity. Maybe he does. I don't know. I know. think that's a scam too, but maybe. Fine. Yeah, I see people's ads too, and you want to know what? I click on their video, they only have like 1,000 or 7,000 views. And then they ended up paying like $100 for that ad, and they didn't really get any of it back. At least with Facebook, you have the potential of getting it back. How long was their video? 10 minutes.
You do not intimidate me.
I'd much rather do the Facebook ads again because they actually work. It's just they cost, like, everything costs money.
I saw a thing that said, do you want to boost this? It'll boost to like 10 people for $14. That's what it told me.
What, on Facebook? Yeah.
It said this will reach 10 people if you pay $14.
No.
That's a lot.
I would do it the way that I did when I worked for Facebook. I'd choose one video, like if we did a brand new thing like Dynasty Warriors, I would have done Dynasty Warriors Part 1 or Donkey Kong Country Returns Part 1. But the problem is it's expensive to pay for those advertising on Facebook. No, I know. I know you're just talking to me, and I like talking to you too. You're my all-time favorite person. I like talking to you. I could not do this without you because I'd go
You're not doing it. We're
crazy.
doing it. Oh my god. I couldn't do this without you. We're doing it together. I don't understand. This is like, whenever I'm training people, are like, oh,
I know my language is not good.
He does not belong. Kill him.
Well, that's because you have like you have better etiquette than I do.
it's not etiquette.
Yes, it is an etiquette thing.
Now you will slip.
That's not very nice. I'm not trying to.
You die here.
I can look after I beat these ninjas up. Ow. Oh, I already won. Oh, okay. Well, I kind of won. I still have to clean Ninja House. Why? Okay. I'm clean the ninjas out, so... When you came down, it was 5. It's at 8:30.
Oh, I'm saying unbelievable that it's already gone through 300 views since I've come down.
Yep. And Mage Wolf and the other mods are putting the shorts playlist in the channel again. They weren't doing that before you came down.
No, I wasn't saying.
What?
I didn't say that on the microphone.
What did I do wrong now? Now you're being all pouty and cute. What did I do? Somebody has another question.
Yes. I don't know what
I'm
you're-
reading something. I don't understand why the Joker can be a murderous, wacky clown like Nicholson.
Just tell people. See, tell them that. Tell the viewers that it's important to watch the shorts.
I do. I just get off.
It's important to watch the shorts, everyone. That's literally within only 30 minutes. The views have
Okay.
gone up almost to 830.
Okay, so Amber's saying it's important to watch the shorts because the shorts make the views go up. So everyone watch the shorts, because that's how everything works.
Literally, Luke was so depressed because no one was watching the shorts. You guys need to watch the shorts, or the channel's gonna die.
I don't know how to respond to Michael's comment. I'm trying to figure out what they're trying to say, but it looks like a lot of text. Something about Joker can't be a funny.
Oh gosh, I think I've seen
Did he say Nickelodeon? What does that say? Nicholson? Razor edge playing cards, acid flowers, 10,000 volt.
I don't get why Joker can't be a funny, wacky, murderous clown like Nicholson, with his razor edge playing cards, acid flowers, smiley, 10,000 volt joy buzzers, and making puns, etc.
Wait, he didn't have razor sharp playing cards in the. You're thinking of the animated series. Joker had like ways of counteracting Batman's gadgets in the animated series. The only things that he had in the Nicholson movie, the Burton movie, he had the joy buzzer, which he used once. He had a stack of playing cards, but they were just regular playing cards. He had the acid flower. And I think that's about it. I don't really have anything else.
I mean, he's not gonna be wacky because he kills people. I don't know.
No, Joker's always crazy. He is wacky.
I mean, what do you mean?
He enjoys life, even though his life is demented. He enjoys.
Okay, Michael says, I mean, because, like, since Heath was the Joker of the new era. But Heath was just one version of the Joker. He doesn't represent a new era of Joker.
I don't remember Heath having any gadgets. I remember him putting a pencil through somebody's face. And I remember him having, like, a whoopee cushion bomb on him when he was meeting, like, the mob bosses, but...
Yeah, but Michael, it's like Heath Ledger. Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, you're saying that Heath Ledger made Joker more dark or something like he.
It's always been dark.
But Joker's always been like super violent and stuff. I thought Jack Nicholson was super dark and violent. Like I personally thought he was one of the most horrific Jokers ever because he did that to that one girl's face and messed that up. I mean, like I wouldn't really say he's wacky. Like I mean, no offense, but like I mean, Heath Ledger just played a mob boss. Like he didn't really play. Like nobody has ever done Joker like Heath ever again. He's just one version of Joker. He didn't make a new era of Jokers. He just nobody. He doesn't. You know, he's not he. It's like he's, you know, like super serious and not. What you're saying is that you think that Joker was super serious with Heath Ledger and that you want him to be more wacky, but he is wacky in like every other version, like even like versions of Joker. I mean, I thought when did Heath Ledger's Joker? What Jokers have come after Heath Ledger? I don't even know.
Jared Leto and Joaquin Phoenix.
Well, I mean, Jared Leto was pretty weird, and he laughed a lot.
If you could call that a laugh.
And Joaquin Phoenix, I didn't even see that, so I don't even know. But I would say, like, I mean, I don't really think, I mean, the Joker that most people think of today is, like, Mark Hamill Joker and, like, Arkham stuff. I mean, that's what I think of it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they were going to continue with the Arkham series, they'd base it off of Mark Hamill. I mean, he's the definitive Joker. I mean, Heath Ledger was just like one version of it. I don't think if they made a new cartoon of Joker, it would be based off of Mark Hamill. I just don't think it would be based off of Heath Ledger. I mean, maybe there was that weird cartoon that I didn't like that had Joker in it, and he made him kind of serious. So I guess. Okay, you're sort of right in that he like they made him more serious, but I just think in general, like if they're gonna make another Arkham game, they wouldn't base it off of Heath at all, or Joaquin Phoenix. Like no, I don't. Those are just Elseworld stories. That's just like a one-off film. Like it doesn't. I mean, we don't even have to count the musical as a film. Like it didn't even exist. Like this.
What musical?
No one even watched it.
There was a musical?
Yes, Luke. The Joaquin Phoenix did a sequel to that Joker movie?
Oh, right.
With music? It was a musical, Luke. See what I'm saying? We don't even need to count that as a film. He doesn't.
Oh yeah, I remember now. I just that bomb's so bad I completely forgot about
Well,
it.
it's just the Joaquin Phoenix and Heath Ledger. It's just like they just those are just too I don't know, avant-garde or like weird artsy films. Like they're not. It's not real. It's not the real Joker. I'm not trying to be rude. Like I can say that now because Heath isn't here anymore. Well, he wasn't even after his film. But I'm just saying, you couldn't say that right after he died because people would be like, "What? He's changed the Joker forever." They just said that because, no offense, I'm not trying to be rude. Okay, I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking. You can just imagine what I'm thinking in my mind. I'm not gonna say it out loud. I don't want to get canceled.
Alright, let's finish up and then I have something I want to answer.
Okay, I'll just say it. People had to act like Heath Ledger's Joker was more impactful than he was because he died.
Wow.
That's true. They had to pretend that it was more influential than it was because he died. That's the reality of it. So it's not influencing Joker as much as you think.
It hasn't even been 20 years yet. That's wow.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
That's just the truth.
All right.
I'm just saying.
Stop going into it. Ooh, that's dark. Okay. Somebody said, "Do you think that Joker's do you think Joker's right and that one bad day could do that to you?" No, Joker's not right. I've had several crappy things happen to me in one day, and I didn't become a murderous, criminal. Some of the most horrific things that you can think of that would happen to a person, that you would get bad news, and I never took it out on anybody. I might have yelled or sweared or broke something, but I didn't hurt an actual human over like my problems or things that happened to me. I broke property, or I didn't handle the news very well or something. But also, you have to remember that the Alan Moore book with Commissioner Gordon, when Joker subjects him to all types of torture and other things to make him snap, Jim doesn't snap. Jim wants Joker dead, but he even says, "We're going to do this by the book." Even though he doesn't deserve it, we're going to do it because we're better than him. So he proves a point that even though he had all these terrible things done to him, the right thing to do still needs to be done. And the right thing to do is, what the heck are you doing? That's awesome.
No distance is too far if the soul is aligned with its true calling.
The right thing to do is always the best option.
You will be one of us.
The best thing to do. Even though sometimes it's hard, Jim proved that, no, I'm nothing like you. It just showed that the Joker, as intelligent as you think he is, he snapped mentally. Because he wasn't strong enough to deal with all the stress that happened to him. And yeah, he had horrible things happen to him that day. He lost his wife and his child, lost his job. All that stuff is very difficult to deal with. But he did 3 terrible things to Jim Gordon: paralyzed his daughter, humiliated him by subjecting him to all types of physical and psychological torture, and he did something else that was terrible too. So he didn't have the same things that happened to him, but he did have bad things that happened to him. No, don't move on, don't move on, don't move on, don't move on. Good. Yay. But people forget that when they read The Killing Joke. They just side with everything that happened to the Joker. You don't realize that Jim also had terrible crap happen to him. And he was strong enough to handle it. The moral of the story is Joker had a weak mind, and that's why Batman laughed at the end. is he felt sorry for Joker because Joker just didn't have the mental fortitude to survive mentally all the stuff that happened to him. He checked out because it was, as he says, it was easy to escape into madness. Madness was his relief. Madness was his safe place. Madness is where he could go where he couldn't be hurt anymore. So he chose that, though. Madness just didn't happen. He chose the madness because it was comforting to him. He escaped. It would have been harder for him to deal with the loss of his wife and his child and his job and, you know, him turning into a clown from all this bleach stuff. But he chose that stuff. I hate to say it, but that's... Even Paul Dini agrees with me on that, is, you know, Joker chose the things that happened to him because he's, as Batman puts it in the animated series, he's not as, you know, mentally capable as he thinks he is. He believes that he can withstand all this stuff and whatever, but he gave in. Somebody who gives in to mental anguish is not a strong person mentally. Like, they checked out.
Say, like your mental health is how strong your ability to deal with the daily stresses of life. It doesn't have to do with, you can have more stresses than somebody else and be better at it.
You may just impress me yet.
Basically, using mental stress as an excuse to do bad things does not make you a good person. And in order to feel sympathy for the Joker and what happened to him, it's like you do feel sympathy until you realize that his outlet was to escape into madness, so his coping mechanism was madness. And it wasn't just that, but also it was murder and destruction and whatever. He's not a very relatable character in that sense because he's not a good example of somebody who was able to deal with the trauma and come out okay. A person who was able to use their trauma as a way to make themselves a better person was Batman. Batman had something so horrific happen to him that he was never going to be the way society wanted him to be, but he found a way of using that pain and channeling it in a way that didn't turn him into, you know, a villain, in a sense. I mean, he does some pretty rough things to people, and it's not a very sane way of doing it, but it's much better than the Joker's situation or other people that use mental illness as an excuse. Even right now, SJWs use mental illness as an excuse to hurt people. Like, I have, like, dyslexia and ADD and stuff like that, and I'm not going out of my way to make people's lives miserable. They use their affliction as a weapon and as an excuse to harm people. So they're just like the Joker. They're weak-minded fools that believe that because they had a bum thing happen to them in life, they can do whatever they want, and you're supposed to feel sorry for them. Well, I don't feel sorry for them. Not in the least, because they're weak-minded fools. They're weak humans, and they don't get life at all. They also were, like, a lot of these people that made our lives miserable, they were basically given life with a silver spoon, and then when the spoon got bent, they freaked out because they didn't know how to deal with all the problems in their life, so they basically came up with a target for their anxiety and their stress, and that was me. No matter who's sitting here, they're only giving us like 1 or 2 views every like 5 minutes. It's like a slow crawl towards 1,000. This happened exactly with the Gohan thing last night. This is why I dozed off on that stream last night. Because it should be at 1,000 by now. It's just not. Even if I were to run the music for the next 20 minutes, it still wouldn't hit 1,000. It's just what it is. I'm just talking to myself.
Here we go.
What is this again? Oh, this is the 100 to 1 thing. This is the... this is the 1 thing. 2, 4... Wait, they're not dying. Oh, this isn't an insta-kill, that's why. This is just electric gloves. Actually knocking people down. Fine, if that's the case. There. Yeah, I know I'm running late for your VG thing. Amber's up. We're here. It's I have to wait for the stream to hit to get to the number that I need it, and then we can start your ultimate. Sorry about that. Why is that not working? Ow. Wait, why is it only... Oh... Ah. Gotta take care of the vest, guys. Oh, I love it. I actually asked for the beginning of the stream for that to happen. Nope. No. Because VG's thing is next, and we're gonna start it immediately.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thank you. There goes that guy.
Don't attack one at a time.
All these. Oh shoot. Wrong person. The armor man needs to go away. There. Still no. Dragon Ball? That's Gohan with glasses, yeah. You're fine.
Just what I wanted.
Don't worry about it. I was talking about the Joker, but I was talking about our attackers. Saying that I'm not sane. I'm amazed that the only reason I've anchored to reality is because of God and my wife. I would have checked out a long time ago. I'm not being nice. I say that all the time though. I'm like a broken record. But it's true. The thing is, I don't know, like a while ago they only used to come after, and then I started talking about you more and stuff, and then more people started bothering you, so maybe in my own way I was shielding you, and now I made it worse. No, 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 no. That's not it. That's not it. That's not
Rip
it.
them apart!
You don't understand what I was saying.
Guess what I want?
No, I wasn't trying to do that.
But that did happen.
This guy's something else!
Calm down.
Get him surrounded!
Do you have the clock on your phone?
Flock of what?
I don't know what time it is.
Get ready for a feast!
He came in for a minute. He'll be back. And I have to get this all disconnected and set up the... I think it's the Steam Deck thing.
What's the matter now?
It only crawled up by 4, so we're at like 984. GameCubian, is that how you say your name? Oh, I wish I had better eyesight. Alright, let's try Kyoyo, and maybe this will be the last one, hopefully. And then we can get ready for a very different type of game.
Die!
Okay.
And by the way, if you talk to me as she again, I will literally ban you from the channel because I am sick of you guys saying K-Wing and not saying Amber, and I've been on this channel 15 years. If I hear you refer to me as she again, I will ban you. Do not do it again.
Hey then. Come on up. Oops.
죽여버려!
Do you...
We will punish you for disgracing us with your presence.
Yeah, it's called Kwingsletsplays. There's 2 people. What is that about Jason become what? Do you think Jason became Red Hood because of Joker, or was it always going
You
to
should not
happen?
be here.
Well, Jason was seriously disturbed from what Joker did to him. I mean, he literally killed him. So, he was trying to get in Joker's head, I believe is what... I don't remember who did the Red Hood run now. I don't know if it was Judd... What's his name? Or if it was Jeff Johns. John, help me out. Who was the one who did the Red Hood arc? In 2005. It wasn't Jeff Johns, right? It was that other guy. It was the guy who did the Long Halloween, right? But anyway, the author's intent for making Jason Todd Red Hood is he was trying to mess up, or rather, yeah, to kind of freak out the Joker. Because the Red Hood was the first identity that the Joker used before he became the Joker. So it was kind of like a calling card to the Joker that Red Hood was coming for him. Because, I mean, no one else used the moniker of Red Hood ever. And also, he was mocking the Joker with it, too. So it was done intentionally. Try to get in the Joker's head. Like, who is this guy? How is, why is somebody using my name? He was also probably trying to draw the Joker out to him as well, like bait him. You know? Oh, nuts. Dang it. Ah! Stupid ninjas. Oops. Oh, I didn't even get 50,000. Is there another round? Is there even another round? Jude Winnick? Is that how you say his name? Okay. It's kind of funny. Amber got mad and then the views spiked up, so I guess it's all about... They want... they like rage-based content, apparently YouTube does. Because it jumped up by 15... We were waiting for it to hit 1,000 and Amber yelled at that person and it jumped up by like 23 views or something like that. Views didn't go down. Crossed over to over 1,000 when he got mad because it was falling slowly at like 980. Don't need to. Oh, what's her face is here. Isn't it easier just to take down all the ninjas first before attacking shields? Oh, I see. They forever spawn in, so you just have to beat Shiva. There you go. Yep, got 1,000. Moving on to the next one.
They can watch the, I mean, there's several, they can watch the cats shorts playlist. They can watch the shorts playlist.
It's so confusing to bring up different shorts playlists. The hate on Amber is crazy. Yeah, it's not cool.
It's been going on for years.
It's been going on for years. People call her she or her or that girl, or there's all kinds of stuff that Amber's been dealing with.
No, it's been going on for years.
I said years.
I know, but I'm saying it's been going on for over 12 years.
Yeah.
I go back on comments from 12 years ago and people are treating me like...
Yeah, don't read the older comments on the channel because there's very disrespectful people. And, you know, they treat Amber like, even the haters treat Amber, like, worse than, like, I don't even know what to call the people. They're very, very disrespectful to women, but the haters are even worse. So, and it's always just, you know, when you see a channel that says two people, it's like, it's just good to say things like K-Wings or you guys or us or their channel or something like that. Because there's two people that make this work. This channel does not work without two people. It just doesn't. I wish it was easier to maintain so that we didn't have to work as much, but it's not. So anyway, of course, 1,000 views, three hours again. It's becoming a pattern. It's becoming a freaking pattern. Anyway, next stream is going to start up in a few minutes. It's a game for VG Shine. Game came out yesterday. It's a brand new game. Yeah, it did come out yesterday, but I don't think it's gonna do amazing VG. So try not to set yourself up to, you know, too much big expectations. But of course, we're gonna cover it, and figure out what exactly you want me to, whatever. However, the instructions are that I'm supposed to do this thing because it's kind of complex. Okay, so see you guys. With the Batman stuff, I think we've exhausted just about everything we can do. Let's go look. Let's look at the board of medals, because this game is driving me crazy now. 92 out of 99, 95 out of 129, 98 out of 99, 36 out of 36. Batman has maybe one more stream left in him. The only costume left is the one costume I can't stand. So these two downloadable maps would be very easy to do, but they're kind of long. So we have this. And so that would bring us up to 98 here. It wouldn't be full 99, 98. And then for campaign, there is 2. And that's it. Okay, so yeah. Next time, for the last time, because this series is like driving me batty at this point. It'll be this horrible skin. I hate this skin. This skin is not my favorite. There's nothing great about this skin. This looks like Batman went to Party City and made his costume. It's terrible. Doesn't even look like the 1939 costume at all. I don't know what they were thinking, but it's bad. It's really bad. He looks like a court jester. Like the way that he has this weird ear thingy. Looks like one of those. He looks like Toyman from the 60s. That's what he looks like from the Legion of Doom. Of course. All right, see you guys on the next one.